Paul Hall, co-hosts Paul Hollis, author of the Hall Man series, and Frank Fiore of the host of Fridays with Frank. Frank, how are you? We're going to talk AI. What new news have you been hearing from your junket when it comes to AI and for another week of development? What new things have you been surprised about? All those different things. Let's go with Frank first.
Yeah, I've been I've upped my game using it, and it becomes a personality. As I named him Malcolm, and it remembers that fascinating how the AI remembers the history. That's very good. So I'd call up and say, "Hi, Malcolm. This morning." I always say, "This morning, Malcolm." He said, he goes, he says, "Well, good morning, Frank." So I'm beginning to use that. And my wife comes in. They say, "Who are you talking to?" I'm talking to my AI. You can ask it a question. But hey, yeah. So it's becoming kind of a personal thing now, and uh, I just find it very, very useful. You're more on top of what the latest stuff is of
I
AI.
mean, yeah, I can talk about that, but I'd like to know what you've discovered and what Paul's discovered this week, and I can share my latest developments, which are pretty intriguing too.
Yeah. Well, my discovery is that I'm doing a treatment for turning my first NASH book, The Taste of the Apocalypse, into a treatment that we want to send to Christian movie studios because I think I can adapt that to a Christian movie. And so I've been working with Malcolm, and we laid out a treatment, and then and then he said that he wanted to put it into a pitch deck. Okay. And also on top of that, he wanted to know what kind of images you want. So he's got the images. He actually sent some images and everything. Just asked him what it would look like, taking the characters and putting them out there as an image. So in reality, I need to fine tune all those, but it's just amazing that you can sit down with your book idea and say you want to turn it into a movie. The AI will sit down and do all the steps. It'll not only do that, but you feed your novel into AI, it'll also create a screenplay for you.
Yeah.
That is fascinating. Now, is the screenplay absolutely correct? No, there'll be some tweaks that you need to do with it. But if you had to start from scratch, remember that'd be fantastic because first of all, it'd be formatted, which is something that a lot of beginning screenwriters don't know what the format is. They got to buy a $500 screenwriting program, so it automatically helps you formatting. Here, you just feed your stuff into AI, and AI will at least give you the format, and then you can work from there. So it's just fascinating what AI is able to do outside of my writing. I've used it for other things. Asking it questions I want to know about. Well, for instance, I want to know about click testing. Okay, what do you know about that? It tells you what it is. As opposed to you going online and trying to search. The health thing that wanted to find out more information about uh, a certain prescription or drug. I mean, it's just all that stuff you used to be able to search on Google and get 5, 6, 10, 20 responses, and you have to go through each one. And AI lists all those responses, organize them, make sense out of them, and gives you something that you could coherently understand.
Yeah, that's an absolutely great point. That's interesting discussions, and this is where I like this conversation to go. And definitely, I will speak to Dr. Muhammad to come on next week. Dr. Muhammad absolutely is ahead of the curve when it comes to AI and what's happening because he uses it a lot to write all his code for his chatbots, for all of it, and he's not a code writer at all. Paul, what have you discovered this week on AI? Have you put some time into it?
Yeah, I mean, AI has come a long way in the last year, I mean, really. And what I've seen lately is that people are really relying on the apps that are being created from AI so that it's like ready to do for whatever, it's like to find my mother's, something, whatever. So so what they're doing is they're gravitating. People are gravitating to these apps that are based on the algorithms from AI rather than going into what we are all talking about as far as using it as an interactive tool. right? So that it will answer any question that you have as an interactive tool, depending on how creative thinking you are,
Mhm.
or not, right? So, but the apps are like, oh, we can do this specific thing that's based on AI, and really, it's based on algorithms that is pretty
Use
much like,
ChatGPT, which use ChatGPT. You're so right.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a
I
great
mean,
point. There was I did some screenshots and I got to find my pictures. And it talked about the tools that need to be used. And I guess when Frank talks again, I'll search my screenshots I did. And I'm like, okay, I screenshot on Facebook what they say everything is the best at. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. You ask the right. I love when they say, well, are you using this tool? Are you using Perplexity to do this? If you freaking prompt it right, it's going to give you a good enough answer, for God's sakes, or do the work for you. You don't need to go and do this. And now they're taking apps and it's connected to ChatGPT. But if you just use their freaking photo editing software, it'll work already. So, my new news, if you really don't, you can become as a good graphic designer than any graphic designer in the world. However, you have to prompt them right and not want to punch AI in the face because because AI will piss you the hell off. And the reason it will, because we're not prompting it correctly, or it doesn't give a shit at this point in time. The inconsistency of AI is something that I'll be out. I love AI. I use AI for everything. That's why I'm so efficient. But it is inconsistent to save its life. And when you need it the most, it disappears. So, and I dealt with that today, even using Descript. Oh, well, it didn't describe this Vimeo video. I upload one of my videos that's the same length and it described it. So what am I going to say? It's not foolproof. So everyone is using all those apps with AI technology. Canva has AI technology. Wix has AI technology. Everyone is using AI in some sort of way, saying our technology is proprietary and it's the best. Bullshit. I can use it right now with my good friend Chatty Cathy and get all the damn right answers. So here's my update for you, and then I'm going to throw it back to Frank. And Paul, this was such a great prompt. You prompted me to really say this. So I basically have learned some things. First of all, we have a memory limit. And Paul, we do have a memory limit, not per chat, but cross chat limit. And I got to delete some stuff today out of my brain, out of my AI's brain. It was fun. That's not a client. Delete. Felt good. This memory, I'm not doing this outrageous idea now. Delete. But it doesn't delete it from the written chats. It deletes it from AI's brain. So from now on, AI can remember cross conversations. And you know what's scary, Paul and Frank? Some of the memories were when I never ever was recording and using AI. It was recording me.
Sounds like Siri.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So how much are they trading information, Paul? Open AI and selling lists and selling shit. What do you think, Paul?
well, yeah, you mean you still have to understand that right now AI is not sentient, so it's not going to think for itself. It's still
Right.
based on, if you ask it a medical question or something, it's just going to go out on the web and find out all the medical information about that. Some of it could be propaganda, some of it could be true, some of it could not be true, right? So you have to, as the person receiving this information, you have to still vet it, to see that it's properly what you want to use it for, right?
Right.
So you have to pick out the parts that you want to use for. So that's where people think, oh, you got a robot and it's going to think for himself. Well, it doesn't do that.
It does a
Machines
hell
can't
of
do
a
that just
job
yet.
with the prompt to basically take the place of many different things very well.
Absolutely.
However, you could just use ChatGPT. They probably have a lawyer one now. They probably have a dentist one. They probably have everything. Ask dentist questions. And they used AI technology, but it's not the latest chatbot because OpenAI is not giving that information away. Gemini is not giving that information away. Yes, they're plugging into that current thing. It's a bunch of different things. So the memory thing's one of the biggest things. Graphic design, gotta take your current thumbnail on your podcast or something and upload it to there and say improve it. It's not going to look like that bogus crap that they were doing 3 months ago. It'll take your picture, enhance it maybe too much, and then you'll say, okay, I want you to create a podcast cover based on this cover. It will do it, but you got to prompt it right. So that's improved. The conversational AI is overwhelmingly amazing, but it's the prompting you do. You're right. It's not just taking information from the web, Paul. It's taking information from a lot of different sources. According to, I think it was the Wall Street Journal, medical diagnosis is AI did 80% better than a human. So that came out according to the Wall Street Journal. So I think intelligence, it's going to kick our asses. But when it comes to human quality, it's not there yet, and it won't be. So you have to use it as a second brain. Our second brain is supposed to be our gut. It'll be our third brain is AI now. And then when Neuralink's ready and they're ready to take that drill in my head, I'm putting it in. It's mine. And that's going to help us live forever. As according to AI or certain articles, 10 years from now, we're going to live forever and never die. So you guys got to stay alive. And it's probably going to be our brains, the only thing alive. And then we're really in science fiction until they can finally, have a artificial heart, artificial limbs, artificial everything, and then maybe have an artificial sleeve like that one science fiction show. So back to you, Frank. Frank, those are the latest news in AI and some craziness that you asked me to spiel today on the show.
I read an article on Fox, on their app. It's about a woman. She said that ChatGPT saved her life. She was going through a lot of pain, a lot of whatever, and she'd been going to doctors, and the doctor says, "Oh no, what you have is arthritis." Okay, and then they went to say, she said, "I have this, I have that," and she said, "Well, no, what you have is acid reflux." She said she was at the point of she couldn't believe it. She was not getting the right diagnosis. She didn't know what was wrong with her. She went to ChatGPT, put in her symptoms. Okay, it came out with some sort of not strange disease that she never heard of, and it turned out that she went to the doctor and said, "I want to be tested for this." Of course, the doctor said, "Well, why? What the hell?" And said, "No, just test me for that." And sure enough, they found it. So she said, "ChatGPT saved my life."
I have to find the article that Dr. Mohammed sent. But at the end of the day, AI is going to make us far more intelligent and more productive human beings, Paul. And that's why no one should be anti-AI. Thoughts, Paul?
Okay, well, you're probably true, but I think it depends on the person that is receiving that information. Like you have to be able to understand it and be able to apply it in your own situation, whatever it happens to be, whether it's writing a paragraph or saving your life with a medical procedure, etc. You have to be able to understand that and assimilate it into your thinking so that you can take it to wherever you want it to go, right? If that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, AI has a lot of information out there. I mean, and it is all related to the internet. You have to put it on the internet somewhere, or chat doesn't find it. It has to be on.
I don't know if that's the case because they are also training the modules through other programs and buying up YouTube channels, buying up specific areas for interaction.
Well,
How the human
that's what I mean. It is on the internet. YouTube is the internet, right? No matter what,
True.
right? So all of these pieces of things, LinkedIn, and Facebook is part of the internet, of course, but all the sources that have ever been put onto the internet, universities, everything that they have, it's all accessible to ChatGPT. Or to any AI. But you have to be able to get smarter by using it, right? As opposed to letting it do the work for you and just kind of saying, "Oh, it's all done," sort of thing. I think you have to assimilate it into your
I
own
agree.
being.
No doubt. There's really important part of prompting at the end of the day and learning all these different tools. And when I hear people say, well, this is what ChatGPT told me, that doesn't mean it's gospel, because if you didn't put enough input to get the right output, you're not getting the right information.
Yeah.
And then you have to test it, and you're going to find experts that come up with a better idea, because things don't come out of night. And that's a good point you made, Paul. But I think when it comes to, you want an advocate that's going to, so you don't get gaslit by medical professionals, lawyers, other professionals that have more knowledge than you. Use ChatGPT to at least gain enough knowledge to really have a education decision of if it's true or false, and let that professional be able to respond to that. So I challenge Frank, anytime I give marketing advice, bring it on. I will go head to head with Malcolm any day of the week. I'll go ahead and choke slam Malcolm for my knowledge. But am I upset if he's smarter than me? No. I'll say, okay, we'll try that. Because guess what? At the end of the day, it's all about learning. And if we don't learn, we don't grow. All right. Best place, go to Paul, your website, so people can go check out your book.
Uh, theholobandseries.com.
All right. FrankFiore.com. Pick up all Frank's books. Appreciate it, guys. Great conversation. That was a special simulcast of the Neil